How does a home rise from a wild forest? Just two hands and the courage to try. Out here, you either build a shelter or the jungle wins. Vines will become steel. The earth will be carved open. A fortress woven high into the canopy, but the transformation begins here, on the ground. The first challenge, finding the right anchor. Woody vines, strong enough to hold. She climbs the cliff face, testing her grip. One slip ruins the day. A heavy haul. The raw materials for the foundation. The bundle is massive. She carries it back. The site is waiting. By morning, a new phase, the main frame begins. Fingers tight. Every knot must hold. The base needs to be perfect. She secures the base, lashing it to the dirt, building the skeleton. Metal meets wood, sharp and precise. Shaping the joints. Bark stripped away. Wood shavings fly. Clean timber lasts longer. A leaning trunk, the perfect natural anchor. She wraps the vine tight. Hours later, the weave grows complex, interlacing the flexible vines. Pressing it flat, testing the tension. It has to bear weight. The circular base, finished and ready. She tests the floor. It holds. Now the real work begins. Suspended in the air, a floating foundation. Poles reach into the canopy, anchoring the sky. Balancing high up, checking for sway. Once secure, she stands to reach higher, building the walls. Weaving from the inside, pulling the rim tight. Wrapping the vertical post. Securing the upper rim, locking it in. The basket takes shape, deep and sturdy. Full weight test, no creaking. The structure finds its strength. Adjusting the top rigging, dialing it in. A fortress in the trees, complete. Back on the ground, a new hoop, a new structure. She starts digging, carving into the hillside. Tying the ground posts, anchoring the next phase. By afternoon, a ladder is fitted. Thick vines secure the heavy beam. It won't move. A cone-shaped shelter, taking form. She moves her gear inside. Gathering kindling, the air grows cool. A spark, Bright orange flames, the first real fire. Dinner by firelight. The warmth is welcome, a moment of rest. Cooked meat, wrapped in foil. Stepping into the dark, knife in hand. The saw bites deep. The work takes a toll, a wrapped ankle, but she keeps going. Climbing down into the new bunker. Deep underground, framed by logs, safe from the elements. Splitting green bamboo. The blade strikes hard, splitting it cleanly. Thin strips, ready for the exterior. Arranging them carefully, lining the stone wall. Sweeping the dirt, clearing the shavings, a clean site. The earthen hut stands, blended into the grass. Deeper into the forest, hunting for timber. Sawing a mossy log. The blade cuts a deep groove. Aggressive chop, breaking it down. Massive weight, carried on one shoulder. Across the wooden bridge, a brutal carry. The dog follows. Arriving at the hut. Slicing thick rounds, one by one. Breaking through, the final cut. Muddy shoes, stepping on the new pavers. Next morning, arranging the slices. Meticulous work. A perfectly paved entrance. The dirt is gone. It feels like a home. Washing up. The stream provides. cloth, cold running water. Carrying a long pole through the shallows. Foraging the muddy bank, looking for food. Across the bamboo bridge, heading back. Inside the shelter, grinding with a pestle, prepping a meal. A black metal kettle, ready for the heat. Whittling a stick, shavings fly in the dark. A spark strikes the tinder. The interior fire catches. Burning bright inside the basket. Looking out over the bridge, a moment of calm. Wrapping the raw meat in foil, prepping the rest. Cherry tomatoes added, under the lantern light. The clay oven roars, hand-built and cracked, holding the heat. Foil goes straight into the flames. Stepping into the night, checking the perimeter. Two knives open the package, steaming hot. Eating off the blade, a simple reward. A cooked tomato, enjoyed in the dim light. Morning breaks, bright green daylight. Inside the cramped tunnel, night vision gray. Log-framed entrance, a sturdy threshold. A snake by the stream, held loosely. Back to the slope, pulling down tangled vines. Reaching high into the canopy, gathering more weed. Inspecting the harvest, thin, flexible, perfect for the next build. Laying out a grid pattern on the muddy floor. Soon, a flat base takes shape. The monkey watches. transitioning to the vertical wall, pulling it tight. Sitting on the rocks, weaving the large structure. She holds it up, checking the height. It needs to be deep. Weaving the top rim against the canopy sky. Intricate work. The completed basket, massive and strong. Wrapping the final vine, securing the rim. Final inspection. The structure holds its shape. Pulling down a bamboo stalk, time to forage. Fighting the dense foliage, tearing it loose. Peeling the pale sheet over the clear stream. Washing it clean, next to the new basket. Small fish swim over the sand, unaware. Rapid splashes. Hands move fast, catching them barehanded. Holding a large, dried leaf. Scooping cool water from the dark sand. The basket is full, packed with wriggling fish. A folding saw cuts the damp earth, digging a new hole near the grass roof. Splitting a log with an axe on the stone patio. Hours later, a circular fire pit lined with split wood. Sunlight cuts through the mist. Spreading foil on the wooden table, prepping the meal. The packet goes into glowing coals, intense heat. Pouring white rice into a hollow bamboo stalk. Filling it to the top. The monkey watches. bamboo over the coals, cooking the rice inside. The foil peels back, glistening meat, ready to eat. Dinner under the lantern. The jungle is pitch black. A quiet moment, softly lit. Eating on the bridge, surrounded by her animals. Night vision. Inside the stone hut, the domed oven stands quiet. The monkey rests on her chest, peaceful. Snakes slither across the floor, sharing the space. Morning light, inspecting the unwelcome guests. They crawl away over the stone floor. Tying a thick branch, a new project begins. Pulling up a steep slope, navigating rocks. Swinging the machete, clearing the dense brush. A hard strike, the branch falls. Carrying a bundle of branches across the bridge, sawing them down to size. Focused work. Arranging the long pieces, prepping for the fence. The machete carves a post, wood shavings scattered. Stacking them in front of the hut. Sharpened stakes, ready for the perimeter. Later, the log path leads to the bridge. Digging forcefully into the moist soil. A post goes into the hole, planted deep. Positioning a curved branch, standing it upright, tying a thin stick to the post. Vine knots hold it tight. kneeling down, securing the curved archway. By afternoon, adjusting the alignment, perfecting the curve, pulling the vine tight around the joint. Finalizing the connection. It won't budge. Carrying another long stick, expanding the fence line. Attaching the horizontal rung. The frame grows, tying more pieces together. Securing the lowest rungs. Completing the section. The perimeter takes shape. Fitting a log paver, filling a gap in the patio. Digging dirt, making room for a new feature. A heavy, gnarled tree root set deep into the hole. Packing dirt around the base, firming it up. Slicing off a small branch, shaping the wood. Weaving a tight coil on the stone patio. Hours later, forcing straight branches into a circle. Weaving the main body, building another basket. Eventually, finishing the upper rim, pulling it tight. Securing a branch to the top. Trimming a stray piece, a perfectly shaped dome. Sitting on the bridge, admiring the finished work. A large round tray, complete. Cooking on a spit, sparks fly, carrying a heavy log across the stream. Next day, digging a deep hole with a trowel. Clearing dirt from the post base. Placing a final wooden disc. Climbing a thin tree trunk, reaching high. Navigating a steep slope through dense foliage. Soon, tying a vine around 2 sticks. Wrapping the center, a wooden cross frame. Weaving vines in a tight circle over the cross. Intense focus, the pattern expands. Kneeling on the log floor, working the massive frame. Hours pass, bending a tough vine around the edge. Securing it tightly. Pulling the wrap, precise work. The monkey sits proudly. The circular frame is done. Chopping the rough edges with a large knife. Sawing a thick stick, forceful cuts. Pushing a metal nail into the woven center. Seating it deep, locking the joint. Holding an upright log, prepping to carve. The knife shapes a sharp point. Pressing down firmly on the vertical post. Measuring a small nail, finishing the piece. reaching into the murky stream. Arm plunged deep, feeling for prey. Crouch, waiting to strike. Opening the raw cavity over a banana leaf. Skewering the meat with a long green bamboo pole. Stacking firewood, ready to cook. A bright shower of sparks. The flame catches among charred logs. Roasting over intense fire, glistening with rendered fat. Pulling the carcass apart, eating in the dimly lit shelter. Survival success. The meat is finished. Raw jungle slope is now a functioning home. Walls raised from vines, paths paved with wood, and meals pulled from the stream. True survival isn't just fighting nature, it's weaving into it.